Content creators' worst nightmare was probably nobody liking their content. But second worst nightmare is people liking it and someone stealing it, right? So what do we do to prevent copycats from stealing your work? So here's some scenarios. You might have an Instagram following and someone mimics your brand and they create the fake account that we've all seen. Or let's say you've got a popular digital product, course, someone copies all that material and then puts it up for sale. Or it could just be a very popular blog content that someone cuts and pastes or maybe barely edits and then makes it their own. So what do we do about these things? Well, it's important to realize that you've got a couple tools in your belt and how to use them appropriately. One of the main things you want to be mindful of is your brand. You protect that with a trademark. Another thing that you have is copyrights can protect content. Patents, usually less relevant on an online business or service business or a content business, more of an invention related protection. And then you also have agreements that you might have with someone help design work or help create work. Who owns the work based on that agreement? So let's take a couple of those examples. Instagram. What do you do if your Instagram account gets hacked? In a perfect world, you have already had a trademark on your business. And so you can take that trademark, you get a serial number for your brand name. So trademarks protect brand names. Nike's a good example. So the word Nike is a trademark. The swoosh is a trademark. Just Do It is a trademark because they all tell you who you're buying from, who made the product. So you want to make sure your brand name, Drafted Legal, my Instagram account, Drafted Legal. We'll have a trademark for Drafted Legal and for Drafted. So if anyone's using those, I can go to Instagram, follow their policies, and also show them I'm the real deal. So whenever you have that trademark, it helps tell Instagram or whoever, you may be going to a hosting, a third-party service. They don't know what's going on, who's who. So you can take that trademark to whoever is in charge of the website and say, look, I'm the real deal, they aren't. You can also use it against that person individually. The problem with copycats is they're usually kind of in the shadows of the internet and they're hard to track down. So you really are worried less about a lawsuit against them because they're gonna be so hard to find and they could be in different countries. Your concern is being able to shut them down. And you can shut them down when you can go to Instagram or whoever the platform is, say, look, I'm the real deal. Same is true with copyrights. You can copyright your blog article or your digital content, and you can take that to whoever's hosting it. You could take it to Teachable or whoever, Kajabi or whoever's hosting a digital course that might be sold and say, look, I've got my brand, I've got my trademark, I've got these copyrights, here's my real website, remove this immediately or else I'm gonna take action against you for allowing it. And they always have protocols to submit these sort of things because they want to provide the authentic version of things. These websites have a reputation as well, and they don't want copycats to get away with it. So they're your ally, but you have to be able to show it on paper that you're the real deal. And that's why you get these trademarks and copyrights. Another thing is having good contracts with people you work with. You may hire someone to help you create content. You want to be very clear that you're the one who owns it if you're paying them. Because otherwise, when someone creates something, they have some ownership over it. Unless you have an assignment agreement or work for hire, something like that in your agreements or drafted legal templates for contractors, always have this to make sure that all of the intellectual property is being transferred, so there's no issue with that. But you gotta make sure that's in there because if they start using it, well, they're gonna be able to show that they created it. And then, you're fighting with them and another platform, and they can't pick a winner. Their job isn't to adjudicate these things. Their job is to enforce it if it's clear. So you need to make sure everything's always clear or else they're not gonna be able to help you as much. On the creative side, I subscribe to Pat Flynn's newsletter, and he has some really good advice that I'd encourage you to go look at and sign up for his newsletter. We'll get a link below. Newsletter is called UNSTUCK. What he was talking about in there was, yes, there's some legal tools, but he's an entrepreneur, he's a content creator, and there's ways to always innovate, to be original, to be yourself. And his theme was, you can't copycat someone's personality or authenticity. We're all gonna have our own things that we're good at, our own brands. So you want to be always innovating and connecting with your audience. Copycats fade away. Now it can be frustrating temporarily, the copycats never win. It always catches up with them. As long as you keep innovating, keep connecting with your audience, I'd really recommend you go grab that newsletter. The exact newsletter is posted. It'll give you a little inspiration on just being a good entrepreneur, a good content creator, and that's gonna help make sure no one can really copy you. All right, last little bits, just to recap, we've got trademarks. Anyone who's got an online brand, I think you need to be looking at getting a trademark. They're a little bit more expensive, but if you've got a brand worth protecting, you should get it today. Copyrights, you need to know what you can copyright. You also gotta know ideas can't be protected. If there's an idea in an article you write, someone else can think that's a good idea as well, or may have come up with it on their own and write something similar. What they're not allowed to do is cut and paste, plagiarizing. So there's always gonna be limits to how much you can protect an idea. You can protect your brand, nobody can use your brand, but if there's an idea, other people can also like that idea and write about it. Another reason you wanna be always innovating, and then you have agreements that you can use. Patents are rare online, but they may apply to some. So my farewell 2 legal tips is own your brand, make sure you have a trademark, and act swiftly. Very, very swiftly. If you see someone doing something that is infringing on your brand, you need to send a cease and desist and then contact the platform that runs it, because the quicker you get that done, and if you own your brand, it's gonna be so much easier because they can look at it and declare that you are the true trademark holder and enforce it and shut the other one down. So I know it's never a good day if you're getting copied, but it does mean you got something good going, so congrats to you there. Just make sure you're a step ahead by owning your brand, and then always just calling every single copycat on it. Don't lose too much sleep on it, because you're always gonna get ahead if you're the real creator. So hope that helps. Go get them.